It's a significant milestone in the COVID-19 pandemic. The City of Thunder Bay has terminated its state of emergency declaration.
The move comes 3 years after it first came into effect back in April 2020, when the world still didn't know much about the coronavirus. Jonathan Wilson joins us live in the studio with more. John.
Thanks, Ryan. Mayor Ken Boschkoff and City Manager Norm Gale made the announcement this morning. They say the decision came after consultation with Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Janet DeMille.
It was tough on everybody, private sector, not-for-profit sector, people, families.
City Manager Norm Gale and Mayor Ken Boschkoff acknowledge it's been a very difficult 3 years for everyone during the pandemic, especially during the first 12 to 18 months until vaccines started rolling out. But now the health unit and members of the city's Municipal Emergency Control Group say that vigilance by everyone since April of 2020 has put the city in a position where the COVID emergency declaration can officially be terminated. Gale says it took innovative efforts for the city to continue to deliver essential services, and things have largely returned to normal operations.
The declaration of the end of the emergency means that we're no longer in a state of emergency, but it doesn't change the reality that COVID is still here. And we have simply learned to live with COVID, and we benefit from what we have learned over the past 3 years.
Well, it means that the city has proven itself brave and courageous to do the right things, and that we've come out of this pandemic, I think, stronger and more community-oriented.
There's been plenty of debate about the COVID measures that were put in place during the various waves of the pandemic. In the media release issued today, Medical Officer of Health Dr. Janet DeMille points out that COVID-19 was a new virus that people knew very little about back in 2020. City officials say the local response was extraordinary and say it will be a crucial learning experience for the next pandemic.
It was new to everybody, so finding ground and finding common decisions in terms of how to get through this was an exercise in community, and I think that we passed with high grades.
There was a playbook before the COVID pandemic, and it was a planning for an influenza pandemic. So we did have pandemic plans. Of course, they didn't work out perfectly because of, what COVID was and decisions made by government and what we had to do. But we adapted. So now the playbook is thicker. We know more. We're better. When I think about workplaces, we have different workplace processes, so we'll be able to respond better when the next pandemic comes.
Jonathan Wilson, TBT News.